Hello there, listeners. Here is Maya speaking. This time not from my home in Klil, but from the train street in Jerusalem. I went on a journey. Um, I won't say too much about my own personal journey because I want to focus on the cultural general human stuff that I see around that is more relevant to the podcast. So the thing is, I'm here in Jerusalem, in a street named the Train Street, Rehov HaRakevet. I wanted to share with you some of my impressions. I think the first thing that I find interesting walking around here is seeing that Arab people and Jewish people are walking along each other in the street. It's like this street. It's like a long park, you see. So people come here to walk and to do jogging, and you can really easily identify the Arab people from the Jewish people. This is the names that is very common for those groups here, because usually you see the Arabic women with like these things on their head to, the Arab, I don't know how to say it in English, and the Jewish men are more identified by the yarmulkes, and it's just alphabet speaking. It's very easy to identify the two groups. But they walking in the same street very peacefully together. And me living in northern Israel, mostly hearing about what's going on in the big cities and in the state centers. Most of what I'm hearing about is violent. Usually if I hear about something that this is just a car going, you see, it's not an alarm, it's just a car sound. So mostly what I'm hearing about in the news is violent occasions. If I hear about Arabs and Jewish people doing something together, it's most likely will be fighting, using violence upon each other. But here I'm walking in the street in a place that honestly I was scared to go to. I was scared to go to Jerusalem. Now I'm saying to myself, Jerusalem is a city that is basically split in the middle between the wall separating the Israeli lands of before 1967 and the Israeli land that was conquered after 1967. It's separate, and I'm standing like, I don't know, like a few kilometers from this border between like Israel and the Palestinian territories. This is the terms that today are used mostly, and even here, so close to where, in my perspective, looking at the news, is supposed to be like just full of violence. I see people just walking along each other, just very daily, like they're not mixed. I haven't saw any like Arab and Jewish people walking together, but they walking along each other, and it's just it's make me think that beside the violent wishes and violent energy that is existing in the region, there is a giant energy or a giant will of just living quietly. And I think, daily speaking, it seems that people are quite used to live along each other. And I think that looking at reality, this daily reality, not through the news, kind of make me feel that the energy of living in peace together, the willing of just having like good life, is, I think, stronger than the violent ideas or violent wishes, stronger than the national ideology. Again, going back to the preview episode, which I recommend when I I put a question mark upon the idea of that nationality is something important. I'm asking what is nationality is good for, and here you can really see that I think really my relationship with my neighbor as my neighbor are more important than my national relationship. And yeah, it's really clear how the national ideas are a problem or a block in the way of those neighbor connections to go better and grow. Yeah, I can really see the collapsion between the idea that my belongings is relevant to the national idea, and the idea that my belonging is relevant to where I'm living and the people that I meet daily. Those two ideas are not always working together. Sometimes they're working against each other. Yeah, you can see that with Alphets. The two group of people that living together basically are separated by Alphets. You can see it with like a cultural signs that the hierarchy leaders of this place are choosing to put. Because, you know, here in the city, I think usually the neighbors are not like the people that actually live in the space are not, do not have the responsibility or the ability to design their own neighborhoods. I think, as far as I understand, this is like the city hall or something that, for example, choose to put here along this like kind of city park, the train street. They choose to put like pictures of the ancient Jewish tribes and their symbols. There are no like Palestinian or Muslim or anything like that kind of a cultural pictures, cultural ideas, cultural stuff that's shown in the public space. I see Israel flag in the street, and it have like the symbol of Judaism on it. It doesn't have any other culture or religion symbol on it, just the Jewish symbol. I see pictures of the hostages, many of them. I was very happy to see that the public space is very aware and put a lot of spotlight upon the hostages. I find it very important. But you don't see anything about people in Gaza that are suffering, right? It's only the Israelis or the Jewish people that are important here. There is only, like in this war, there is so much suffering, and you hear here in this space only one side suffering. So yeah, in this way, I think that nationality it's a problem for the natural circular network connections with our immediate surrounding from happening. You can see that here with like Palestinians and Israelis or Jewish and Arab, whatever you want to call it, living beside each other and being separated by cultural, by national images or national symbols. And you can see that with, I don't know, between northern Israel and Lebanon or southern Israel and Gaza, you can see that the national idea is separating the two in a way that the people that live in one side of the border are supposed to care only about the suffering of in their side of the border. So it's like it's making like it's showing the reality picture as it like two groups of people that are split, but actually we're all connected in nets. We're all connected with physical. We're all sharing like physical, like ecological surrounding. We all sharing economical net. We all sharing and we all sharing energetical net. And also we're sharing genetic, like Palestinians and Israelis, Jewish and Arabs, they're very close in genetics. So we are all very, very connected in nets. And describing the reality as split to two groups is just, I think it's just the wrong way to show reality. It's just not relevant to how reality really is. And when we act out of believing that reality is different than it actually is, then we're not behaving in a harmonical way. For example, thinking that my neighbor is something completely different than me and that I'm not connected with him. This is like, in my perspective, this is a misunderstanding of reality, and in this way you act in a disharmonic way, like using violence at your neighbor or allowing violence upon your neighbor. Or for start, just not like connecting with your neighbor, not see him as something that is relevant, not seeing his language, his thought, his feeling, his legacy as something that is relevant to the cultural space. And I think this is the first thing that allowed violence here in Israel, is the idea that the other people feelings and thought and legacy is not belonging to the general human net and cultural space. Yeah. I am seeing here in I'm looking at like signs that the city hall, I guess, put here, and it's showing pictures of this old train that used to run through where now is a park. And pictures and like historical explanation, and that's actually written in Hebrew and in Arabic and in English, and that's nice. That's like bring me optimism to see that okay, so they don't speak in here about suffering of people in Gaza. They don't have any Palestinians' historical, cultural legacy in the public space, but there is like space to the language. That's a good start. I think that's bring me optimism to see that, and it is a thing generally in Israel that bring me optimism to see that the Israel state is acknowledging the Arabic language as a language that need to be expressed and shown in public space, even here in this so-called Jewish street. And again, it's bringing me to where I started this episode, and this is the idea that the wave or the motion or the idea of or the will of just living good life and being in good harmony with your neighbor, I do think it's stronger and bigger, at least bigger, wider, more natural than the more easy in a way than the national idea and the idea of separation and hate and violence. So that's I don't know, here walking in the train street in Jerusalem, seeing people with, people identified as Arabs or Palestinians, and people that identified as Israelis or Jewish, walking along each other. It's bring me optimism. It's nice. It's bring me optimism. Before coming here, I've been in Jaffa, and my friends there told me about the same thing about daily living with your neighbor. And they say there was no violence in Jaffa since the war started. No violence between Arabs and Jewish. Nothing. It's amazing. It's amazing because the Palestinian conflict, the Palestinian-Israeli conflict, has started in Jaffa, and there was lots and lots of violence there not that long time ago. And now people are living peacefully together. My friend told me about Palestinians that see themselves as Israeli Palestinians, or both, or something that is mixed. They want to live together. No one have the real deep will to hate his neighbor and be in wrong relationship with him. I think this is just if someone is acting violent and act out of hate, he being mischief by some kind of wrong perspective upon the world, like the idea of nationality. I think the idea of separation bring people fear. But I think the deep essence of people, as you see in Jaffa today, no violence after 9 months of terrible war, and those people in Jaffa, they have families in Gaza. Okay, it's like serious stuff. It shows you that the will of people to live peacefully and lovingly and harmonically together is stronger than the ideas of separation and hate and violence. So that's some optimism. I'm going now toward the neighborhood of Tzaftzafah, which is like an Arabic neighborhood, Palestinian neighborhood. If I have something interesting to say, I will maybe continue it later. Thank you, listeners, for listening. Bless us all.